Hi, it's Claudia from Create with Claudia. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today is episode number 6 of my Working Our Scraps Off YouTube series. It's a series all about just what it says, working all of these scraps off. I know any quilter, any sewist, anything, they all have piles of these, or most of them do. Some people don't keep their scraps. Some people toss them or give them away, but I do. I'm a hoarder when it comes to fabric scraps, so I need to get rid of them, and I started this series about 6 months ago where I like to do a little project. They're just small little makes usually. And again, this is episode number 6. Today we're doing something very, very scrappy and very, very easy. It's August and I didn't have a lot of time this month, so I didn't want to come up with an intricate pattern or anything like that. So it's a fun way to do it. It's a great way you can make coasters and table runners, placemats, that kind of thing. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Anyway, let me show you what we're making. It's just something like that. So it's just a fun little make. It's nice and flat, and it's using scraps. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And when we're done, hopefully, you can make all kinds of fun things with this, and a great way to use up some of those scraps. So like I said, we're just making these small little sort of incidental pieces. You can see I used some other scraps on the back. There's some thread sewn in there. What I did is, again, super, super simple. You're going to just choose the colors you want. In this case, I used purple. Today, I chose a bunch of really brightly colored, I almost call them circus colors, brightly colored scraps of all different colors. What you want to do before you start is you want to press all of your scraps. You don't want to go into this, you don't have to press them perfectly, but you want to have them pressed a little bit. And then you're going to take, we're going to use this backing. I have this great backing that actually really matches a lot of the colors that I chose for this. You're going to cut a piece larger than the size you want, larger than the finished size you want. So if you're making maybe a 4-inch coaster or a placemat, make sure you cut this whatever size you want. And then you need batting. In this one, excuse me, she knows my allergies are acting up today. In this one, I used just regular batting. But I got some fusible, since I've made that one, I got some fusible batting, and I thought that is ideal for this project. So you're going to lay your backing down, whatever size you want, lay your fusible batting on top. And again, you do not have to use fusible if you don't have it. I just used regular here, and then I just sewed really carefully around the whole, the whole surface. And then literally all you're going to do is start placing these just haphazardly, however you want to do it. You're basically coloring with your fabric scraps. And I know it sounds really easy, and it is. I just felt like doing something. Let me just show you it. And then if you want something, you want maybe a smaller piece, you can cut it. Let's see, that would look pretty there. I also love, this is another fabric that I bought years ago and I've never used. Cut them to whatever size you want. Let's see. Okay, so there you have it. There it is. It's like coloring, like when you were a kid and you just made all kinds of colors. It's loads of fun, and if you don't like it, you can move it around. I even actually did some fussy cutting here with this flower. I just cut out the little daisy. I thought that was sort of fun and pretty. In fact, I might put one over here. That's the beauty of this project. You can just sort of layer and layer and layer as much as you want. Let's see. And it really brings out the artistic side in me. I normally really like geometric blocks. You've probably seen some of my work. There, we'll just put that flower there, get off all the fuzz. You definitely want to get off all strings and fuzz because you're going to quilt this really densely. But yeah, it brings out the artistic side in me. Normally, again, I like really geometric, really square blocks. So this is totally not the norm for me, but it's lots of fun and it's very relaxing to me. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know, I feel like a kid again. Maybe that's part of it. As I get older, I like that feeling more and more. So anyway, then what you're going to do, and this is why that fusible batting is really nice, you're going to take it over to your sewing surface. If you have a much bigger piece, you might want to put this on something else and carry it over. This is small enough that I can just take it over, and you're going to press it and just follow the directions of your fusible batting that you have for pressing. Now it's not going to be perfect, so you can't wave it around or anything like that because you have layers of fabric here. So you definitely want to still be careful, especially when you're quilting it. But you're going to press it. Okay, so just let that cool before you bring it over. And like I said, you may have to reposition. Here's a little, I can see a little bit of batting in there, so I'm just going to add a little piece here to cover that. Let me take that over, press that really quickly. All right, and then you're just going to go ahead and sew it. And you can quilt this however you want, although I highly suggest you quilt really densely. Like on this one, I basically almost did like a square spiral. I don't know how to explain that, but I started in the middle and just went around and around and around. And I think it's about a eighth of an inch to a quarter inch wide between my stitching. I like that for a couple reasons. One, I just like that the texture and the feeling of it and the look of it. I think it looks really nice. And two, it helps hold down all those scraps, especially those top ones that aren't fused when you use the fusible batting. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I'm going to do the same thing, and basically I'm just going to start in the middle, maybe I'll start in the corner and just have some fun with it and really densely quilt it. And when I come back, I'm going to show you what we do next. Okay, so here it is. It's all sewn up. Here you can see the back. Yes, I got some threads in there. You'll want to take the time to go ahead and pull those out. One of the things I did do, I went a little bit wider than this purple one. I think I'd probably go thinner next time because you still have some of those raw edges pop up, not a lot. And I did go back and add a few lines in where they were really popped up and where I didn't want anybody to pull on them or they'd come apart. And I go all the way out to the sides. Again, it's like a kid's coloring project. And then I trim it down to the size I want. And in this case, I think I'm going to make coasters out of this. So I like my coasters 4 inches by 4 inches. And let me see if I can find my rotary cutter. Here we go. And I'm just going to square them up. Let's see. I just used 4 inches by 4 inches. Again, this is more like a mug rug size. This is, I think, let's see, this is 9 inches by 8 inches. So this is a little bit bigger. This was my practice one, but I'll probably cut that into coasters too. I always need coasters around the house. When you have a teenager, you have kids all over the place, and they tend to leave mugs places, or cups. So I'm just going to cut this. I square it off. And then flip it around. And don't worry about cutting through the seams, through all that sewing you just did, because when you put the binding on, that'll protect that from fraying or coming loose. So there you go. There is one coaster. Let's see if I can get another one out of here. I hope I cut it the right size, and I did. Whew. Let's see, just a little spot here. That's extra. Now normally I would probably cut my back fabric more closely to the size that I needed, but for camera purposes I wanted to do this. Always close up that rotary cutter. But these are my 2 coasters. I normally make 4 coasters at a time. I would then bind them. I'm not going to show you, like in previous videos, I'm not going to show you how to bind them. People do binding all kinds of different ways, so whichever way is your favorite way to bind, it's the way to go. But I usually use 2.5-inch strips and just work my way around one long strip, and then I just sew all the way around. And that's, I think, the more general one, but people do have other ways of doing it. So that is my 6th project in working our scraps off. This is really a fun series. It's actually taken off. We have a Facebook group that is now I think over 350 members, so it really blossomed. Last month my block was really popular, and people seem to love that. So I'm glad they're loving scrap projects. They share their own projects, copies of, not copies, but their versions of the projects that I've been doing. So I hope you head over there to Facebook. It's called Working Our Scraps Off. So I hope you liked this month's project. It was short and sweet was this month, and nice and easy, and no measuring required except for the shapes that you want to end up with. Those are the kinds of projects I like sometimes, especially in the summer months. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I always love new subscribers. Thank you so much. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media outlets at Create with Claudia, so check those out too. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.